Hey everybody, welcome to GGS Railways. My name is Greg. This is my YouTube channel. Starting off a little bit different today. We're starting off right here in the train room. It's a good place to start, I'd say. We might run some trains later, but right now I kind of want to talk about something I've seen kind of, I won't call it a trend, but I've seen a few videos on YouTube lately about it, and it's basically musings of, is the model train hobby dying? And I'll just cut to the chase. No! No, it's not. But if you think it is, pack up your trains, be very careful how you do it, and send them to me. And I'll be sure and take care of them. No, the hobby is not dying. Now, I can tell you the reasons that people think that, and we'll examine that in just a minute. Okay, so let's talk about reasons that people might be talking about the hobby is dying. And in some ways, possibly from their perspective, they're right. Now, let's just back up just a minute and look at like the origins of the model train. Model trains obviously were crafted, modeled after real trains. And when trains were broadly popular back in the 20s, the 30s, people especially of wealth, why wouldn't you want a miniature railroad that you could run around your home? I mean, it was largely a hobby that was for wealthy, well-to-do folks. Now, as time has gone by, folks like me, you, we can get in the hobby and we can afford this. But, that's the way it started. So if you want to look at it that way, that part of the hobby is probably dead. Okay? So then you have, the next kind of generation where, you and I and other folks can have the trains. And, of course, many folks in the hobby are older than I am. And, of course, they started out with, the elite, standard gauge and all that kind of thing. Well, that part of the hobby, other than kind of a niche group, that's kind of, this isn't going to be a popular opinion. I'm well aware of this, but that's kind of a niche group, and that part has kind of mostly died out. Okay? There aren't a lot of young people that are into the hobby right now that are going to be much interested in a huge, huge locomotive, pre-war. That's just, that's not what they're interested in. So, in a way, yeah, that part of the hobby has kind of died. Okay, so then the next generation of kind of train collector was, the 40s, the 50s, and this is when Lionel was at its height. I mean, they were just pumping out those model trains, and I mean, it became almost a rite of passage that every young boy was going to get a model train or two, on Christmas Day, and I mean, bunches and bunches and bunches of those sets. So one of the things that has happened, and I thought about this a lot, and I'm going to say it as carefully as I can, as to not offend anybody, but Lionel and other train companies, frankly, they never really were transparent about their production numbers. So as folks my age and older are passing away, their collections are coming onto the market, and I don't think anybody had any clue, any idea just how much of this stuff is out there. And so when you think about value as, as an indicator of the hobby dying, well, yeah, if you swamp the market with all these just massive collections, and frankly, some of these people had some really massive collections, and you dump all this stuff on the market, yeah, the prices are going to go down. But does that mean the hobby's dying? No, certainly not. Now, adding into that equation, as these things are being dumped onto the market, I mean, folks that are younger than I am, especially much younger than I am, which almost everybody, they're not going to be interested in the pre-war. They're not going to be interested in most of the post-war, frankly. They're going to be interested in, the DCC, the new Lionels, the new MTH, the new, whatever else is out there that I don't probably even know about. So, I mean, to say that the hobby is dying, no. The hobby is not dying. The hobby is evolving. The hobby, as a lot of us knew it, yes, that's dying. And probably for the best, As things evolve, let's think about this in another way. If it didn't evolve, there's not much that a young person is going to find exciting about all this, okay? Without the sounds, the animations, let's think about a child today. Just how happy are they going to be to see this 108-year-old being go around the track more than twice? I mean, no. No, there's no appeal there. So, yes, the hobby is changing. The hobby is evolving. MTH, Lionel, all these train companies, they don't just put all this money in there without doing some research. So they have every confidence that the hobby is alive and well. And keep in mind, hobby train isn't just about the locomotives and the rolling stock. You know, there's other components to it. There's electronics. There's the actual modeling. You know, of the towns and making things, you know, ultra realistic, or, you know, specific road names. I mean, it just really can get involved. And I mean, so to say that the hobby is dying, that simply is incorrect. Stop. Stop. I mean, just stop. So let's just stop that rumor. I mean, that's not healthy. That's not good for our hobby. So some of the things that we can do as older folks to, you know, to kind of help the hobby along, let's not be so stuck in our own little world, okay? You know, if a young person wants a purple caboose with glitter, more power to them. Why not? So I've seen this at train shows a lot. Older folks such as myself, you know, we're trying to be helpful, right? Oh, well, you know, that would never exist in real life. Who cares? I mean, really, who cares? I mean, you're talking about, you know, potentially a child's imagination. You know, do you care if, you know, they're running a Union Pacific and, you know, behind something that would never run? I mean, who cares? Really, it's not that serious. You know, let's, instead of discouraging imagination, let's encourage it. All right, so it's not the video I exactly planned to make, but it's the video I made. So let's be more supportive and less negative. You know, I think that's the key. You know, no, the hobby's not dying. Let's not pretend it is. Let's not cast that shadow. I mean, why? I mean, there's no indication. I mean, none of us have a crystal ball. I mean, you know, maybe tomorrow we'll all live in cubicles. I don't know, and we'll not have room for trains. But until we get there, why are we casting the doom and gloom? I don't get it. Let's be positive. Okay, everybody. So this is not exactly the video that I started out to make today. I actually was going to make a video about my G-scale trains, but we can do that another day. I just saw a couple of videos that were talking about the hobby dying, and I just felt like I needed to talk about that. I hope you enjoyed my perspective. I hope I'm right. Certainly this is a hobby that's definitely worth preserving, trying to carry on, but we need to let folks carry it on in their own way. We can't be stuck in the past. So, all right, guys, I think I've probably said and done enough tonight, probably causing enough trouble. In any case, this is all for tonight. Fugitive Railways out. Wow.